Stress and exhaustion from worrying about the coronavirus is leading to COVID fatigue.
Many of us are feeling defeated and burned out, and it's a serious issue. Levels of depression, anxiety, and alcohol and drug use are on the rise as the pandemic persists. UW Health distinguished psychologist Shyla Murgain joins us today to talk about 3 aspects of COVID fatigue and some ways to reset, recharge, and cope. Thank goodness,
Sounds
Shyla.
good.
Perfect timing. Welcome back. Good to see you.
Oh, it's great to be here.
So COVID fatigue is a real thing.
It is, and this is the day after Labor Day. Typically, that's a reset for people where kids are going back to school with fresh notebooks. We're going to hunker down in some of those work projects with renewed energy, but this year is like no other, and we're having considerable fatigue. The first aspect is something called surge capacity that's gotten depleted. Our systems are designed to deal with natural disasters or threats like 9/11 or Hurricane Katrina. We have these adaptive systems, both mentally and physically, that can mobilize to deal with that kind of stressor. But this pandemic is like a marathon we've been running where the finish line keeps moving with no end in sight. And so we're finding ourselves to be just exhausted, not as motivated, and not as productive. So I want to talk about some of the coping strategies to help people really ride this wave as we head into fall.
You're talking about Zoom burnout as well?
Absolutely. That's one area for those who are working virtually or even just setting up social gatherings through video platforming. It is very fatiguing to be on video the entire day. So the first strategy is a 20-20-20 practice. For every 20 minutes you're looking at the screen, look away for 20 seconds at something 20 feet away from you. Second, think about getting blue light blocking glasses to help lower eye strain. In addition, make sure you're moving. Get up every hour and move for a couple minutes. If you can turn your video off, maybe do some stretching while somebody's talking. And have that screen on presenter view. Part of what's exhausting is to see all the different faces, including yourself, when you're back-to-back-to-back Zoom meetings. So instead, just have your presenter view on where you're just seeing the one person talk at a time. Even give yourself permission to put a Post-it note over yourself. You don't have to look at yourself all day.
Those are some great suggestions,
they
really great. And you talked a little bit about this, about uncertainty. How do you change the fatigue and uncertainty burnout?
There's a change fatigue. We've gone through so many changes over this time, and it's potentially going to get worse as we head into the colder months. So first, think about using some radical acceptance, accepting the unwanted, what we don't want to have happen. Just by accepting, that can actually free up energy we can use to find the silver lining, which is the second strategy. There's some good that's coming out of it. Maybe your kids who are schooling virtually, you get to have lunch with them. Maybe because you're working remotely, you save on gas money. And lastly, try new things. The Wisconsin State Journal just a week ago came out with a list of 50 things to enjoy in Wisconsin during the fall. Maybe find that list. We do much better when we're moving in the direction of things we want to enjoy. And lastly, I encourage people to practice mindfulness. And I just wanted to share a brief practice called the Take 5 practice you can teach your kids or even your coworkers. And it's simply have your hand up and give yourself a high five. You're going to practice slower, lower breathing. On the in-breath, you're going to breathe in through the nose, and you're going to start with the palm of your hand and trace up the outside of your thumb. On the out-breath, you're going to breathe out through your mouth and trace down. In-breath in through the nose, go up to the next pointer finger. As you breathe out through the mouth, down to the palm. And you can keep going throughout the different fingers. You can even do both hands and give yourself a high 10. That kind of practice is quite calming to the system and really brings you back into the present moment.
So just cut yourself some slack. Don't be so hard on yourself.
Yes, that is such a great point. You know, it's easy to have these high expectations and beat ourselves up when we're not doing everything perfect. Think about the next couple months of maybe saying no to some things, lowering some of your expectations for yourself, or really minimizing some of those priorities that you have to just do the best you can. You know, be kind to yourself, be kind to others. We'll get through this eventually, but, you know, we need to really conserve our energy and cultivate our joy and really be some of the peace that's needed right now.
Great advice as usual, Shyla. Thank you.
Shyla, great to see you.
Oh, it's great to be here, and thanks so much.
Take
We'll
care
see
of
you
yourself.
soon.
We'll have a final check of your forecast coming up.
Ready to roll playback. 3, 2.